One person, I'm usually quite excited anytime, Friday approaches. It means that Saturday I don't have to be here. I get to do some personal stuff for myself, cook my food, just relax, just chill, and remove Nigeria matter from my brain. You guys need to know how I try as much as possible to decompress whenever I come in here and we get to critically look into topical issues, bedeviling Nigeria's socio-economic and political landscape. So whenever I have an opportunity to decompress, when I have an opportunity to just defrost from, the quagmire currently affecting every one of us, I really take advantage of it. I don't joke with it at all. So if you're joining us for the very first time, this is Voice of the People, 90.3 FM, and almost all our programs, we update you on happenings across the globe, specifically happenings affecting us currently. We usually bring in analysts to educate us. The education is basically their own interpretation of these issues. If it has to do with a legal perspective, we discuss it here. We have legal practitioners who gets to give us the legal requirement and the legal analysis on that particular issue and what it portends. If it is quite complex when it comes to other sectors like aviation, economy, lifestyle, social welfare, obviously we're able to break it down based on whatever it is the government says they are doing in related to those departments, ministries, and agencies. And I want you people to understand something. It is not targeted at any specific person in government. The point is, where there is a vacuum, we need to highlight it. And if it is possible for us to be excessive in buttressing it and reiterating it, we will do that until the needful is done. You remember that on several occasions, we've always asked the administration to please tell us precisely what they're doing with the fundings that they have. We also asked the administration to be accountable and transparent to us. We've been saying it since 2023, ever since fuel subsidy was removed, and we're asking the government of the day to tell us where this money is being channeled to. The former Minister of Finance, Mr. Wale Edu, was one person we thought would give us a logical comprehension of where these monies were being channeled to, despite reports we're getting from the World Bank or the IMF as to where the monies were being channeled to, or monies that were secretly being deducted. Then we now recently had how 800 billion naira from the FAC allocation, the governors kind of shared it that the president had to intervene because it caused a fracture amongst the governors, and nobody has said anything. Then we now heard about Wunti in the 210 trillion naira. How Wunti and the APC chairman were asking the president that the matter is on his table, and how they intended to infuse Wunti into the House of Reps, to the Senate, give him a senatorial position, whereby once he belongs to the APC, there'll be no further probe. And to be honest with you, it seemed it worked, because when they brought up that conversation again, and Adams Oshomole kind of criticized those who tried to silence it, the entire Senate silenced Adams Oshomole. So I call it, the corruption is so deep to the point that they don't care. They brazenly say it. The minister of what's his name, the FCT minister, brazenly told us that the 2027 elections is concluded. Like, no baton. There's nothing for us to. Every other person is joking. He said it today. Like, literally opened his mouth to say everything concerning the 2027 elections is concluded. What does that mean? And nobody has said anything, where we have House of Rep members and senators openly coming out to say you must deliver your polling unit. If you don't deliver, low baton for you. Or in Australian elections, where a senator said anybody who is not supporting APC, you should buy them. These are utterances made openly, plainly, nothing happens. Religious clerics, specifically the Islamic clerics, will come out and say that if you're not supporting Muslim ticket, or they prefer to eat grass under Muslim. So this is a kind of mannerism we're seeing as our political season is coming up. But we will discuss that in the course of the conversation. One of the things we want to look into today is concerning what is going on in the Southeast and the historical context to it. Yesterday, when I and Mr. Darlington Agumore were speaking, and he talked about, Esther, show me where in the Bible where it says polygamy is a sin. I remember telling him that in the book of Acts, all of those things are there. I even got some messages where people were also trying to say, Esther, read out this Bible verses to Mazi Darlington Agumo and tell him that based on the New Testament, these are what the Holy Scripture says. But guess what? In the days before the Civil War, there was a major population in the southeast. What caused depopulation? What caused the southeasterners to spread across every part of the globe? It's very important. If you go home now, if you go to the village, you realize that most young men are not there. The big question is why. Now, lately, there's a particular lady that usually comes to this our radio station. A lot of you know her. She's very vocal. She's a firebrand. She's a phoenix, and her name is Madam Pinto. She had advised that please, men should start marrying more than one wives in the southeast. That we need to populate. We need to have kids. We need to just grow back our population. We need to ask ourselves what happened. How did it get to this point? Now, let me also reel out something that was released by Sahara Reporters. So I don't know if you travel to the southeast a lot, or some of you who have businesses there, or some of you who are indigents of the southeast. If you're traveling, you need to be extremely careful. The entire route leading down there has been heavily militarized, and the question is, these men are meant to be at the volatile areas, like in the north, all those regions where you have Boko Haram, ISWAP, ISIS. The routes leading there, you barely see these heavy checkpoints, but it's different in the south. It's to the point that if they ask you for money and they set your phones and you refuse to comply, you could be taken to the bush, threatened that you'll be murdered, and they will tag you IPOB. So the point is this: there's no negotiation if you're an Igbo person, because there's this explicit order: murder them. But when it comes to other militant groups or groups who have been volatile, you have an opportunity to be redeemed. We're talking about the de-radicalization, rehabilitation, and reintegration program. They don't do that to those guys. Even when they've caught them in the theater of war, in some instances, they're not killed. They're taken into the barracks, and then they're later taken to Wawa prison or any of those prisons in Niger State, where they may stay long in there before they're prosecuted. But the thing is that outright killing is not done. It's almost like they're afraid of those guys. But when it comes to the southeast, that's not it. And a lot of young boys have been wasted in that regard. So there have been calls as to how do we resuscitate the population, the youthful population there, so we can have a strong economy? Or is it a deliberate effort to depopulate and make sure that the economy there is wasted, it doesn't grow? If this set of people have been asking, give us our own nation. So based on several reports from travelers and motorists, they're accusing the personnel of the Joint Task Force, comprising soldiers, police officers, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, operating at checkpoints across parts of Nigeria's southeast, particularly Imo State, of extortion, harassment, unlawful searches of phones, threats to kill them, and attempts to frame them as members of the indigenous people of Biafra. The victims who spoke said in various accounts were supported by, there's a video and an audio evidence to buttress all of these explanations, all of these statements made by those who are victims of these, I will call them terrorist insecurity fatigue. Now, one victim recounted how he and his elder brother were stopped while they were traveling from Abia State to Asaba, Delta State. On that very day, he described how they took some pictures of a signboard written Umuhu Comprehensive Secondary School, but they deleted the pictures because if they search your phone and see all those things, they'll start trying to twist everything. But before I proceed on this, let me play you in 2016. Muhammadu Buhari had an interview with Al Jazeera. In that interview, the presenter asked him that there were peaceful protesters in Abia State who were asking for something. They are very young. These people did not witness the civil war, right? The Nigerian civil war. And so you did not call them to ask them why they're agitating. Instead, you sent the Nigerian army to murder them on the spot. They were peaceful. And let's hear Buhari's response to that. Again, it's quite imperative for us to understand why we continue to experience things like this.
Let's also look at another problem that seems to be emerging under your presidency. You've only been in power 9 months, but this problem in the southeast of the country, we're seeing the Indigenous Peoples Organisation of Biafra, IPOB. They are protesting peacefully for the most part on a regular basis, and there has been video. I could show you some video that's been posted of a very...
No, thank you.
These are the images the president didn't want to see. They're on the internet and we can't verify exactly what they show, but it appears as though security forces were shooting at unarmed protesters in the southeastern state of Abia. This is footage I can't personally verify, but it looks as though the security forces have gone in very heavy-handedly shooting, and there were reported to be 7 deaths. I'm wondering, how are you planning to deal with this issue of Biafra? You, of course, had first-hand experience.
Quote a 30-month civil war, at least 2 million Nigerians were killed. And for somebody to wake up, maybe he wasn't born when there was this fighting in Biafra and said he wants Biafra again. We have multi-party democratic system now. Let them organize themselves and vote for to have a state within a state. But to try and interfere with movement of troops, with economy, looking for Biafra, after losing 2 million people, I think they are joking with Nigeria's security, and Nigeria will not tolerate it.
Why don't you invite them for talks?
Why should we invite them?
For the most part, they appear to be young people, as you say, with no recollection
they didn't know what
the war,
happened.
the 1967-70 war. But these are disaffected young men for the most part, but young women as well, who are protesting, it would appear, against their reduced economic opportunities. Government allocations to state governments in that region have been reduced by something like 50%. These people want
How much
jobs.
was oil costing? For the last 16 years, it was costing from over $140 per barrel, now to sometimes under 30. So the system of allocation has to correspondingly be reduced. So why shouldn't it affect them if it's affecting the whole of Nigeria? From where do we get the money to give them?
Okay, Mr. President, I think that time is up, and I need to thank you very much indeed for taking the time to speak to me.
All right, this was precisely a throwback to 2016 when former president, now late, Muhammadu Buhari was asked a bold question on Al Jazeera why he is killing peaceful IPOB members protesting for Biafra. And ever since then, the Southeast became a very hot and volatile region. A lot was happening. And most times when there were killings, the military was involved heavily in the Southeast. You would think a war was going on. Yes, Nigeria was moving on. Other states were moving on, but it was very hot in the Southeast. A lot of young persons ran away. A lot of young boys left. So you couldn't remain there. It got to the point that if they see you around considerably as a young person, for no reason, you could just be shot. We saw videos, pictures, evidence of terrible things happening. Mutilation of young men, young women, children in their homes, shots at ranges, different short range, long range. It got to a point where we even heard that some persons were contracted by Asari Dokubo's security arm, where he said that he was employed or consulted by the government of the day, although the military did not assent or supposedly respond to what Asari Dokubo said to either distance themselves or actually comply with what Asari said. But Asari came out publicly to say that my boys are helping to buy the IPOP members in the Southeast. This degenerated to the point where it felt like there was a targeted depopulation of the Southeasterners, and it became quite worrisome as to if we're still experiencing the civil war, despite the insecurity happening in all the zones. Nnamdi Kanu was being called to be the person facilitating what was happening. Every conversation being held by the chief of army staff at the time, they kept on calling and trying to make it seem like Nnamdi Kanu was the cause of everything. So I have a historian here. He's also a social and political affairs commentator who will be telling us precisely how was the Southeast before the war, how populated was the Southeast, and at this point in time, do we continue to experience a depopulation in there? Secondly, how do we bring it back? Would he advise that polygamy be adopted for a region that is mostly Christians, like the practice Christianity to the core? How do you advise that region to adopt it formally as a means to grow their population more? And I have Mr. Awa Omiko right here in the studio with us. Mr. Awa Omiko, how are you, sir? Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank God it's Friday.
Thank God it's Friday.
So,
yeah. Good evening too.
Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
Were we very populated before the Civil War?
Yes. That should be, yes.
Closer.
We're very, very populated to the extent that even the land mass was not even enough for the people to actually stay. So some of them have to move out, out of the eastern zone, maybe moved into neighboring states like Edo, Benin,
Even the north,
the
they populated the
north,
north.
and they equally the population was large, and that was why they were, when they come together, they always able to do a lot of things, but right from the days of the World War, 1914, beginning from 1914.
The amalgamation of
Yeah,
Nigeria.
no, the World War, during the time, those days, during the World War, yes. And you could see that a lot of the able men went to that World War. They fought on the part of the British soldiers. And when they came back, those some killed, some maimed, some were seriously wounded.
Okay.
And be that as it may, but despite that, it didn't actually affect us much, but a sizable number of the male in that region went. And you can equally see again the Congo War. And finally the Civil War.
Wait, how many wars have you mentioned now? Because
I've mentioned
it feels
3
like the
wars.
Southwest has always been embroiled or involved in one war or the other.
Yes, even the Ekumeku War. The Southeast has been involved in war, and these are big wars. If we start from Ekumeku, which is 1863-69, down to, that was fought for 25 years, down to 1919.
Hold on.
Yeah,
25-year war with whom?
Yeah, with the British.
The Igbos
were
fighting with the British for 25 years.
Yes, it was a guerrilla warfare.
Can you explain that?
The Ekumeku War, you can never see much of that in Nigerian history, because the British government never wanted it to be read and never wanted people to know about it. But through research work and through other means, through artifacts and research works, people are able to recall that there was once a war. The capital of the Southeast, in fact, the capital of the Southern Protectorate, wouldn't have been Calabar, it would have been Asaba. So, but the people said, no, we can't allow foreigners to rule us. And that started the Ekumeku War from Asaba. It ended in 1914, and that shifted grounds. The British now shifted from Asaba and moved down to Calabar, that became the capital of the Southern Protectorate. Before Lagos was joined before Lagos came in and became the capital, and finally the amalgamation in 1914. You could see that all this war, in fact, there was even a time where once you are a male child and you are matured, during that period of Ekumeku War, you are a gunner. Because the British were out, they wanted to annihilate the Igbo race, especially those in Asaba. But thank God that we were separated, we were dispersed in terms of our settlement and living pattern. So within that period of Ekumeku, a lot went to it. To the extent even the language of Igbo were not allowed to be spoken in the school nor taught.
No, I'm trying to comprehend you telling me that the Southeast went through a war 25 years with the British.
Yes, the guerrilla warfare is the first guerrilla warfare in Nigeria. The first guerrilla warfare. It's called Ekumeku War.
Why were they fighting the British?
Because they never wanted them to rule.
Okay, at this time, had the British invaded other regions?
Yes. Invaded the west.
What regions did the British come in first? Through the north, right? Did they come into the north?
Through the west.
They came in through the west.
And they were migrating inward.
When they came into the west, did they conquer the west, or they were able to form an alliance with the west?
Well, conquering, they will form an alliance before you know it, they take over the ground.
Why I'm saying so is, if they fought a war with the south or the southeast, but they didn't fight the same war with the southwest and the north, what was the difference?
The difference was, don't worry, I will explain all. You see, when the British are crafty set of people. When they come, in fact, the first place they visited was Brutu.
Okay.
Brutu. In Brukutu, yes.
Burkutu.
Yes.
Okay.
Then they left Brukutu because the Portuguese couldn't comprehend. They couldn't stay. So when they left, the next place they came again. Now, coming again, they came through the west, migrated, they will form an alliance, enter into agreement with you. Before long, they take over. And that was their method operandi. If you can go back to Lagos history, you see a lot of infighting, which they caused before they started coming in
Okay. They divided the people.
They will cause disunity among the people, claiming they've come for peace. And in the process of the truce, they take over.
That was what they did in the West.
That was what they did everywhere. But the Ekumeku people now discover that these are some of the this is the tactics
of the British.
And they formed an alliance to say these people have come and they are coming is to deprive us of our rights, of our legitimacy, and to dominate us. So that Ekumeku was like a secret warfare. In fact, this is the first in Nigeria. A secret warfare that took place, and how I wish you did you read Things Fall Apart?
Yes, we read Things Fall Apart. We watched Things Fall Apart.
No, I don't mean watching it. I want you to read it.
We read it,
because
and then we watched it.
Some of the things in the telly, in the scene,
yes, they left out some
things.
Yes, on the scene.
You could see Chinachebe describing some of those wars. The war Chinachebe was describing was not the Biafran war.
It was the
Ekumeku war. And mind you, Things Fall Apart is a faction, not a fiction. The difference between faction and fiction. Fiction is things that never happened. You're just writing. But faction is mixing the truth with fiction. So that was why you see all those things Tina Chebe wrote in those books. In that Things Fall Apart actually happened. And that was why he was speaking from the Ekumeku War. And that Ekumeku War lasted for 25 years. Some said 30 years.
Wow.
But from the records, 25 years, because everything nosedived by 1914, when there was unification and all that. So by 1914, the British government were already in control of the country. In fact, by 1900, they were already in control of the country. So those things ended. But be that as it may, there was a policy to annihilate the Igbo, which by virtue of the way we lived, and by virtue of the fact that the Igbo can be found even across the west and the other side of the east of the River Niger, down north, and the spreading, it wasn't possible. And that is why, if you pick history books of the 60s, and if you pick diaries too of the 60s, and you pick some other records of the 60s, they will tell you that Igbo stroke English. While you have Hausa, Yoruba as ethnic group, when it comes to that, they will say Igbo stroke English. And some will even call it Ebo. Some will even call it Igbo.
Okay, some will call it Ebo, that's EBO.
Yes.
Some will spell it IBO.
But the real word, the real people is IGBO. The language is IGBO. The people is IGBO. So there's no need of saying one is that. So when that ended, the issue now became, if we give these people authority, if we give these people right to rule, they will even dominate others.
But
so
why that concept? Why that concept? Because it's still the same narrative and rhetoric even up till now. Whenever politics is coming on and you have somebody from the southeast, there is the same thing. Even right now with Peter Obi since 2023 is the same thing. They like to dominate. They like to take over. Don't let them in. And it's going on and on. It's become so bad that you now see subsects. I recall watching a conversation between some certain persons in Benin. The same thing they were saying in Port Harcourt. court. They say it got to a point they're asking questions as to if Ikwere is Igbo or not. And we're like, is this what we're supposed to be talking about now? When there's a dilapidation in governance and administration, and the dilapidation is not just in one region, it's everywhere.
Now, do you know the reason? Is that Igbo by nature they are Republican people. They are too frank and will openly tell you this is it. They are not the type of people that will see their king as a demigod. You see, unlike the other tribes,
Yeah.
they see the king as a demigod.
Yeah.
And there is this hierarchy in seniority and whatever. But the Igbo man sees the king as a person he can speak to
Okay.
face to face, and they don't believe that the king is ever right.
Okay.
There are some tribes that will tell you the king is next to God and is always right. But the Igbo man will tell you no, that is not it. So the Igbo man is one, Republican by nature, two, frank to the point of they want their decisions and opinions to be heard, and you can see that decision is taken by agreement.
Okay.
Rulership is taken by agreement. Rulership is handled by communal intervention.
All right.
Rulership is held as a result of age hierarchy.
Age hierarchy.
Yes, hierarchy. Rulership is held by age hierarchy. Some will tell you that the Igbo man is the society is a chiefless state where there is no king and that. No, it is not totally true. It's not totally the truth.
All right, so after the Ekumeku War for 25 years,
Yes.
which had already depopulated a bit,
Yes.
then you now had the
The
Nigerian Civil War, which obviously we heard
The record said 2 million.
but that means
but-
was underreported
Uh-huh.
because there were pogroms before
Yes.
the war itself.
And there were direct death and indirect deaths. You may ask me what is direct and indirect.
Please go ahead.
How about direct were those that had confrontation with that were killed in battlefront, that the army invaded their villages, they were killed. There were those that were recruited, maybe forcefully lied to and were killed. Those that were in that had the confrontation with the soldiers were killed. Then there were the indirect ones. The indirect ones were those that died as a result of the effect of the war. After that war, people were dying, but that figure was not actually computed. There are some families, they say, oh, some fathers and mothers, oh, my son did not come back with others. And before you know it, the person may have committed murder, suicide. And some people were even committing murder by themselves. I had an uncle that that did that.
They killed themselves
So they
before
killed
they would kill
themselves,
them.
suicide, yes. And though the war was a mistake.
Which war was a
The
mistake?
civil war was not adequately planned anyway. But that war had effect. Most people, when they just begin to talk about the war, they don't know that the war had remote and immediate cause. Part of the remote cause of that war happens to be the Louis Commission, the Louis Panel of 1952, as a result of the Kanu crisis that took place. There from then, the Igbos in Kanu were actually killed. The record will tell you 46.
That's the Kano riot.
Yes, that was the Kanu riot of 1952. Some will tell you 46, some will tell you 42.
That was before the Nigerian Civil War.
Yes, that was before the Nigerian Civil War. It was more than that. The riot lasted for two days. And that was officially, it lasted for 2 days. But unofficially, it lasted for a week.
Scores were murdered then.
Yes. To the extent that people said, the record said, why are you people killing the Igbo? Do you know some of what they said? The people came to Kanu to steal, to take our jobs, destroy our culture, dominate us, take our trade and markets, marry our women, and try to introduce their religion, which happens to be Christianity.
That was what the Kano people said.
Yes.
Do you know that that's the same narrative now?
That is the same.
It's the same exact
when
narrative.
People say history repeats. History does not.
No, it's like it was deliberately done to stigmatize.
Yes.
The reason why is that even now, you hear them say, "Oh, you don't obey people's culture." They come and buy people's houses. I'm like, as if the houses are given free of charge. You know, even when it comes to rent, you realize the rent for that person is higher. I needed to understand where the history of that tagging comes from.
You see, Esther.
Yeah.
You see, what happened in South Africa? When I was trying to analyze it, in fact, my mind raced back to 1952 in Nigeria here. And that has, just as you pointed out, has always been the narrative. No matter what they do, say the people, oh, well, they've come to destroy their culture, they come to, and this, why did they do that? Is because of their republican nature. We are three groups in one. The Oyibo try to force us to remain together. No. And that was why the outcome of that Louis Commission, Louis panel, Louis investigation says that Nigeria can never be a unitary, can never practice a unitary system. And that metamorphosed to Williki Commission that said Nigeria should practice federalism. That was in 1954. So all that involves the killing. And who are always the target? The Igbo. But of late, there's a different definition of the Igbo. You may ask me what is the different definition? The Igbo are just, for now, a part of those. In fact, if you don't speak Hausa, Yoruba, or any other popular language, you are an Igbo person. And that includes the minority group of Calabar, all those minority groups down south. They now calculate, put them all in one basket of the Igbo. Because it's a tribe, you don't put S in tribe. You use just one. So if you look at it, you now discover that the republican nature of the Igbo man make him to be aggressive in business. He wants to succeed. In anything he does, he wants to succeed, because when he gets back home, he's going to use that wealth to raise his status in the society. Some people say they buy chieftaincy title. Well, that one could be all over the world anyway.
I recall, I think I've said it on this platform, when I was in primary school up until secondary school, the incessant way my parents were always, they were so into studies. It was really serious, and I didn't understand why. My mother was always telling me that they will let others go, your case will be different. I said, why? She couldn't explain to me. She says, because you just have to be exceptional. You cannot be like others. You cannot just, others can get average and get away with it. She will tell you they'll easily get jobs because of where they come from. It's not the same for you. And I did not understand the concept. So it prevented us from having a life as children. Yes. I'm being personal with you. You know, we were so reserved. We weren't allowed to play with other kids. I went to a boarding school. I'm supposed to return home and play with my neighbors. I couldn't. There were lesson teachers. Yes. Like 4 of them.
Because you need to score 80%.
Do you understand? So all the textbooks given to us from school, I had to read it before I go back to school. Yes. So while the teacher is teaching in school, I'm already familiar with what is being taught. So while my friends, imagine secondary school, I was still very young, were playing. I wasn't playing. I was angry. I was bitter because I felt she just did not like life, like somebody that doesn't have joy. I couldn't understand why I couldn't play. I couldn't have fun. I couldn't enjoy myself like other children were. So from 8 o'clock in the morning till 4 p.m. Lessons on holidays. The only time we had a little respite is Saturday, Sunday. So it was like coming back home to school. So it got to a point that when it's holiday, I don't come back home. Yes. So I mean, Lantang to Lagos.
Yes.
I won't come back with the school bus. I'll go to my friend's house in Jos. Their family were military generals and stay with them. And I'll tell my mommy I'm okay, I'm fine. Like especially when we have 2 weeks holiday.
Yes.
That's second term. You know
But for the
the
long
for the long
back.
haul I go home. But the second
For
term
the long
holiday,
back.
I second term holiday that is just 2 weeks.
weeks.
I stay at my friend's place. That was how it was. I didn't understand until later.
see-
I realized that was the reason.
The white men handed over a depressed people to Nigeria. Said this set of people, if you allow them, they will dominate you. And the king, the Igbo man, did not interact with the British for long. With the Igbo man hated the British system. They didn't interact with them for long. So when we begin to talk of education, all those things, development, all that, no, it wasn't. You can see the attack from the south during the time of King Jaja of Opobo. Opobo was an Igbo man. King Jaja of Opobo. Yes, he was an Igbo man, though he was sold into slavery. That would be another ball. And in fact, I've been reading a lot about him, which are just misconception. No. So, Opobo, you can see the war he fought and how he was able to protect the oil region in the south Nigeria. And now, when the Igbo people now realize that the best way to meet up, the best way to catch up is not to fight the white man. Do you know what they did? They went to communal enterprise. And it is that communal enterprise that they are even practicing till date.
Some people are saying that the Ekumeku what you're talking about was actually 31 years, not even 25, from 1883 to 1940.
Very good, very good. As you know, I said over 25 years. The thing started before, it wasn't really pronounced. But when the real infighting took place was for 25 years. Because it started like, Boko Haram thing, just starting. People didn't really pay attention to it. But the real infighting lasted for 25 years.
Mr. Awa,
yes.
We're going to take a very short break very soon, but the reason why we're having this conversation is that the campaign has begun officially.
Yes.
While Atiku is bringing up certificates and drug allegation against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is begging and saying, you know what, Judge Howell, give us 10 more days. The court said no, 4 days. The FBI has responded by saying there are certain reasons why we cannot release Tinubu's records. And then the presidency is begging the FBI by saying, being the fact that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, you need to apply immunity. So for that immunity, you cannot release those records. There are talks that maybe the president is an asset of the CIA or FBI or thereabout. But the thing is, this conversation we're having is being used for campaign by proponents and opponents. That is basically what is being used, either to divide the polity, we do not know, but we need to have a better concept. Secondly, the president has ordered the immediate arrest of one Judge Buchi Nwabweze and the suspension of 3 permanent secretaries over the discovery of another fake agency operating within the office of the Secretary of the Government of the Federation. They include M.S. Danjuma, Nadungu Gagari, and Richard P. Filangwa. The chairman of ICPC and other related offences commission, that's Musa Aliyu, was the one who disclosed this to State House correspondents just today after briefing the president for the second time in 2 days following a meeting he had earlier, which was yesterday with the president. Aliyu said the newly uncovered fake office operating under the name National Brands Development and Made in Nigeria Special Project Office has been illegally allocated office space within the premises of the OSGF, contrary to extant laws and without presidential authorization. So he said the discovery emerged in the course of the investigation that was carried out ever since Adeyemi's matter. So he said the discovery emerged in the course of the commission's broader investigation as earlier directed by the president. They identified the promoter of the fake office as one Prince George Buchi Nwabweze, who was found to be operating under multiple aliases. So the fake agency office, National Brands Development and Made in Nigeria Special Project Office, promoted by one Judge Buchi Nwabweze, with active suspected collaborators in the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, contrary to extant laws and without authorization. The president had asked that the Judge Nwabweze be immediately arrested. And also, they said that he had 4 other names that he was operating with: Judge Nathan Nwabweze, Honorable Judge Buchi Nwabweze, Prince George Buchi Nwabweze and George Nwabweze. These are the variations. He revealed that the ICPC had engaged the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation to ascertain vital information relating to the fake office under investigation and had comprehensively briefed the president on the new development. So, following the discovery, the president had directed that immediate arrest of Prince George Buchi Nwabweze, the immediate suspension of the following permanent secretaries, which I already mentioned their names, that is MS Danjuma, Nadungu Gagari, Richard P. Filangwa. So, based on this interim report submitted to the president after 30 days, this man has been ordered to be arrested. Maybe after the exposure of Adeyemi.
You know, we said here there's still going to be more of them. If Adeyemi could, with impunity, were saying all those things he was saying, so there's equally going to be more of them.
Yeah.
And if you investigate further too, there's equally going to be more of them. But the angle is going to now is that Buchi is coming in because Adeyemi is involved. Maybe tomorrow we may have one Musa or Mohammed being actually, so that it will be a spread.
No, Buchi is the head of this fake agency with
you
other.
You still don't understand me.
Okay.
The name Buchi, does it not ring bell to you? Onye Buchi, does it not ring bell to you? The people you see that by the way some people reason, they will now begin to flaunt the Igbo angle to it.
But there's an Adeyemi who was in charge
That's
from the
exactly
southwest. So how do you want to do that?
If they want to flaunt that aspect, they should know that crime
Does not have a tribe.
does not have a tribe. And both, in fact, all of them involved in this fake agency or agencies should be brought to the book. They should be dealt with.
We'll come back to that conversation. We'll take a very short break. I will be right back. To kind of stay with us. Evening Rush continues.
Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. Now you have a voice.
Give malaria a double punch of Vatesunate and Amodia Queen. An effective combination that Camosunate. There's anti-malaria therapy. Comes in 4 different packs for different age groups. No 1 year, 1 to 6 years, 7 to 13 years, 14 and above.
Camosunate, effective anti-malaria for all ages. Marketed by Janet Pharmaceuticals Limited.
If symptoms persist after 3 days, please see your doctor. Read the leaflet inside.
You are listening
to your the number one station.
to Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Do not touch that dial.
Parents, you've worked hard to give your child the very best future. With a 90% graduate employment rate in the first 6 months of graduation, that future could be right here at Lancaster University, Ghana, the only British branch campus in sub-Saharan Africa. The same globally recognized UK degree, accredited to the highest international standards, all within a modern learning environment. Applications are now open. Visit lancaster.edu.gh to apply today. Lancaster University, Ghana, a global degree at your doorstep.
To the city's #1 super dial. Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. Lagos.
House dey dark and NEPA bill dey choke. E dey worry you as e dey affect your business. So much on don come. Imagine say you wake up for morning, light no shake, fridge don block, business no get wahala, everything dey okay. No be dream o. With Yohaku, na you dey control your light. Yohaku dey sell gas cooker, freezer, fridge, and dem go furnish you with modern kitchen o. Whether na inverter, batteries, panels, smart street lights, be na solar AC system wey you wan use for house, business, abi for industrial work, Yohaku stand chim to help you. Bye to NEPA bill o. No wait till transformer go spoil again o. Oya run call Yohaku for 070-121-30260 or 080-324-82573, or you fit to call 080-669-60066. For Lagos, we dey for shop F1179 Industrial Section, Ojo Alaba International Market, or shop G6 Electronic Section, Alaba International Market, Headline, Uche Ubochi Plaza, Abuja Office na Corporate 13, Dubai International Market, back of Games Village, Karo District for Abuja. For Port Harcourt, we dey for number 51, Oporo Road, Eziowa Elite Trade Center for River State. Yohaku, Website na www.yohacoproducts.com. Online store na www.yohacostore.com. Yohaco, from sun to earth, we dey make your mind dey cool.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for staying with us. This is still the Evening Rush right here on Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. My name is Esther Machiko, and I have with me Mr. Awa Omiko. Mr. Awa, thank you so much for giving us your historical insight.
Thank you.
We're expecting you to give us responses to fact check what Mr. Awa has been telling us, because some of the things he's saying may not be completely accurate. So your job is to give us the accurate information, whether he's in line, whether he's in tandem. I know a lot of you listening are historians yourselves. A lot of you are older than us. Most of you are considered to be ancestors.
I'm giving you
we're just beginning to taste life. You know, because when we grew up, we all these things are sounding like in another world entirely. You know, but they happen.
Make the research. Make the research.
No, obviously, as to the fact that my job, I study mass communication, so we needed to study history, sociology, psychology. Those are aspects that we need to go. So, but the history wasn't deep. It was just a recommended course that we had to. But then, if you're somebody that likes to read a lot and develop your wealth of knowledge and have an accurate, vast word bank, you continue to do your own personal research. So, Mr. Awa, why I decided to bring up this is that this is going to be a tool this time around. Now that elections are on, campaigns are on, there's going to be propaganda, and as usual, tribe is going to be a major factor.
Yes.
And all of these things you said apparently did not just start now. From time immemorial, that has always been the tag. You know, they dominate, they do this, they do that. And to be honest with you, somehow the Southeast got divided even amongst themselves. I mean, you see how some of our people embrace foreigners than themselves. Like somebody who is a foreigner, there's a sense of hospitality given to that person compared to your own people. It is of recent, maybe after the 2023 elections, a lot of things happened. The Southeast are now trying to come back together, and they will say Igbo bu Igbo. Regardless of what aspect of Igbo you're from, we're all one, we're together. And they've realized that it is important for them to come together if they intend to go back to the days. Why I'm asking this question is, how do we increase the population? Because before we went on the break, when I gave the breaking news, when we were describing all the wars that we had gone through, from the Kumeku War to the Nigerian Civil War, did we have another war after the Nigerian Civil War?
No.
But it feels like it.
Yeah, except those minor riots.
Riots.
Those crises in the north and here and there. But the telling effect, the one that restructured, that made Nigeria to be what it is today, it's not the Civil War. It is in 1952 Kano riot. That metamorphosed to giving Nigeria federal system of government in 1954. And the remote cause of the Civil War, one of the remote causes of the Civil War, is the outcome of that 1952 crisis. So when more people begin just to look at it, they begin to look at it that they want to dominate them. If you are in doubt, just like people that want to make further research, you go and see the Louis Commission. The Louis Commission. And again, you look at the Wilkie Commission of 1954 too, that gave birth to the federal system we are calling practicing, and the legitimate constitution that actually came out of it. So all what we're seeing is that the ethnicity we are practicing today. So people will say this person caused tribalism in Nigeria, it caused that. No. It falls back to that 1952, because that was where the issue of regionalism started. In fact, it was even enshrined in it. He said, treat these people from their regions, not collectively.
Okay.
And that was the place of state of origin and state of residence. All those things started. And where did they actually start? All these things started from the Sabongari. That was where they have to define a place. Say, no. Let's allow the existence of Sabongari, which is a place for the existence of foreigners or strangers, as that may be. But if you transpose it or just oppose it to what's happening now, it just shows that our politicians, most of them are not thinking enough.
Not smart enough.
Yeah, it's not even a matter of being smart. It's a matter of trying to bring those things that divide us. Let's look for a way of rejigging them and taking out the bad sides and making sure that unity, we all embrace unity. Now, going back to the question you asked, how can we increase the population of the Southeast? Well, if you look at those days, the things fall apart said the white man came and put a knife to the things that held us together. Now we are falling apart. If you look at those traditions, there were traditions in the past that were encouraging a lot of people to have more children. And because the land was there, the economy was vibrant and the resources were in abundance. You see, the men then were marrying, some men married up to 20. They were marrying, yes, they were marrying a lot. Sure. They were marrying a lot of, some married up to 20. And some had a lot of children. If you begin to count some people's children, some may count even up to 100.
It may seem that the region that is still practicing that is the north.
Yes. And because that is why
an
the
advantage
population for them. You see, there are two types of resources. There is the natural resources and the human resources. If you have the population and develop them, it becomes human resources. And human resources in all places, they are key. They are key.
All right. So the question is this. I remember when Madam Pinto came here. There's a reason why we're having this conversation. Again, a lot of us do not know a lot of things. And very soon we'll look at other regions as well if they went through the same thing by the British. For example, in the Southwest, if they had intra-issues, especially with the British, as well as the North, if they also had issues with the British that could have culminated to a point where there was some kind of depopulation ongoing. I don't know if you get my drift.
Yes, I do.
Exactly. So, but the telling effect is more on the Southeast because it feels like the same narrative and the same thing is at play. And even at this point in time where you see the militarization in that space, and if you go home, most young people are not there.
Yes.
You know, you miss out some of the women and small children. And even the children who are women, once they're teenagers, they tell you they want to come to Lagos.
Yes.
They want to come on school or they want to come and learn work or something.
One thing or the other.
One thing or the other. They leave. And so it's the aged that you see there. And then most of the work that needs to be done, like farming and all those things, is this people that have to do it. So before you know, there is hunger.
In fact, some people describe village as burial grounds.
Because it's only during December, Christmas period and holidays
as
that you see people thrown home. And in some instances, yes, because you see people build hotels, massive buildings, but they're not residing there. So how do we reawaken the business enterprise in that region? That's one. Two, how do we encourage population? Because like I said, it's a predominantly Christian region, and you practice one wife, one husband. When I was speaking with Mr. Darlington Gumor yesterday, when he was saying, show me in the Bible where they said that as a man you must marry one wife, and I was insisting that I'm not sharing anybody, but Madam Pinto has come to say, you guys in the East, you people need to start marrying more than one woman. So how do you encourage that in a healthy way, without grouse, without grief, without envy, without the normal thing that happens with jealousy and all of that stuff? How would you encourage that?
Well, if we look at the research of late Professor Kuti, in fact, the former Minister of Health, the elder brother of Fela Kuti. Then he used to be called TV Doctor. There's a research in one of his books, and he said that people from polygamous home have that tenacity to endure stress more than those from monogamous home. He said they could withstand stress and they could apply diplomacy proper than those from monogamous families. Then he said because sibling rivalry helps to strengthen man. It's in that's why I quoted him. So when we move ahead, you'll discover that when Christianity came to the East, they came with the principle of God made them man, woman, made them male, woman, and one wife. In fact, that's meant to be interpreted to be one wife, one man, one wife. So it made them she, he, and he.
Okay, so my question is, where
the
are you heading
question
to?
is allow the traditionalists.
Okay.
If that region has traditional religionists, if they want to marry 100 wives, allow them. And there's some brand of Christianity too that marry more than one. So allow them. Don't criticize them.
Okay.
Though during the time of President IBB, he said a woman should have four children. He didn't limit it to men. And I was talking before we went on break. I said there were some practices. In those days, there is nobody can remain single once you are regarded to be matured.
From the age of 12?
From the age of 12, 15. In fact, when you get to 18, 20, they'll be asking you questions. And the next thing, you have forced marriage. There used to be forced marriage. Just like Kanu is doing now. It was some of the practices in the East. So you can't stay idle. You can't say you don't have a wife. And when there is a forced marriage on you, the community provides for that family. Wow. Your kindred will make sure that family survive. There were more than enough provisions. But now, where is the resources to do all that? The resources has been highly depleted. And our leaders are not helping matters too. You begin to talk of the militarization of the Southeast. What are the governors doing? Can the governors petition the federal government? Because when you go, they will look at your phone. If there's anything that has to do with red or any color of flag of Biafra, either you are just mere reading or glancing through it or whatever, you'll be tagged IPOP.
Taken to the bush, extorted from.
Not only extorted, some are even killed. I'm a living witness. I traveled home I think it should be about 5 years ago. And someone said I shouldn't sleep in a hotel. In fact, it was a commercial driver that took me to the East because it was late. He said I shouldn't lodge in a hotel. I said, why? I'm a bona fide native, I'm a bona fide person I'm a bona fide Igbo person. He said, no, don't lodge in a hotel. As a researcher and investigator, so what I did, I said, okay, I know what to do. I slept in a garage with those area boys till daybreak. And this happened at Onocha.
Are you serious?
By 2 a.m., we started hearing gunshots. They'll go to those hotels, break in, pull out those guys. Before you know it, pop, 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 pop. Before you know it, they are thrown into the river Niger. It happened in Nigeria, and nobody talked about it. So, and when you are moving downwards, it's like every 100 meters or 200 meters, there will be a blockage. The military, they will ask you to disembark then, but not now. They will only search you and cause bottlenecks to traffic. They will search you and search you whatever thing you have and all that. But we may say that was as a result of the IPOP. And mind you, I was among those that said, and I'll keep on saying, that all the evil things attached to IPOP were not all done by IPOP. They were not all done by IPOP. There were infiltrations of an underhand into the activities of the IPOP. And I stand to be corrected. The state has a hand in it. And when I mean the state, I meant the federal government has a hand in it. All in an attempt to blackmail that region and try to carry out their impunitive activities in it. And you can see that it is, if you look at the range of people killed, they are the active age. From 18 down to 50, that the active age. In fact, if you are still active in your 60s and you are the type of people mentoring people, you will probably be grouped into that age to be killed. And this is an orchestrated thing carried out by a group of people which I classified as the state. And I still stand to be corrected.
So all the young and able-bodied men.
You can't even hold night parties in the villages. There are some villages where families, normally during festive periods, you see families, the Umuna and Umune associations, they will come, they will sit overnight and discuss. So you see military men will come and ask you, what are you doing? If you can't define your gathering, you'll be tagged IPOP. August meeting. Some people are already in August meeting, and some people are still into it. It is women affairs. Women has nothing to do with it. The only way you say men coming in is the ERG. And during that ERG, some people don't even go.
In fact, the
because
August meeting now is now done just inside your home.
And the August meeting is no longer as elaborate as it used to be.
Yes.
And you can know that region is a region mostly built by self-help. The roads, they contribute to build
by its own people. The people, not even the state government.
That's why I said self-help. The road, the buildings, and that is why you go to some places, you see bridges built by the colonial masters that are still there, 1950 something, 1940 something. Just one lane. So that area, that region, need to be revisited. And federal government shouldn't be telling us that it is IPOP that is stopping them from doing that. No, it can't be IPOP. If the number of soldiers, police officers, and security agencies that are on that road is taken to Borno and the northern region. In fact, we even stop Boko Haram. But here, no. I think, and if you look at it, some people will tell you the war is not yet over. That the war is just over on paper and minor areas. That the real war is not yet over. Because the people are gradually being decimated. And that wouldn't be the right thing for a country.
And it's done by deliberately wrong profiling.
Wrong profiling. Look at what Mr. President said. Coolestly. Now, the woman was so diplomatic and said, why don't you call these people and discuss?
Yes, that was late Muhammadu Buhari.
Yes.
Discuss with them, like you do with Boko Haram.
Boko Haram. He said, no. He said, why will you kill? Don't you know? And what? And, Esther, you see, these states, let's go back to Even the Okuta panel, all the whole panels. I've just cited Louis panel of 1952 as a result of Kanu riot. Then Willie Link, 1954. Then gradually coming out to other panels that talk about truth, even up to Okuta panel. If those things are put together and the findings are made public and applied, there'll be greater peace in this country.
All right, very quickly. The FBI has asked the U.S. court for permission to submit a confidential declaration explaining why it is withholding some records relating to allegations linking the president to a drug trafficking investigation. The FBI made the request in an application dated August 20 before the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia, saying it could not publicly disclose the full reasons for withholding certain information. Now, we also got information that they've reached out to Azovilla. Azovilla reached out to them to say, see, he is the current president and there is immunity applied. There are some certain things you cannot release. The same FBI, DEA, CIA made the same statement in 2022 or 2023 thereabout when Atuku brought up this matter. And they said they were going to release 2,000 documents as of October 2023. But on October 26, 2023, after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was declared officially the winner from the tribunal of the 2023 general elections, they released some documents, not up to 20,000, but the president's name was redacted. They mentioned Moise Akonde and a couple of other persons that the president had affiliations with. Now, this is coming back again, all right, by this same article, Abubakar lobbying firm, Von Montague. Now, the FBI had to respond because just 2 days ago, the court said they have 4 days to release it. And it's Aaron Greenspan, the owner of Plain Sight, who is asking for the Freedom of Information Act, that the president's record as a public person should be accessible, and they shouldn't hide such a matter for somebody who is the president of a country. Now, the FBI now said, you know what? As an ex parte camera declaration is a submission made privately to a judge for consideration without being placed on the public record. They're saying, is it possible for us to keep this probe secret? Let's not make it public. Let's not put it out there. Besides, he's a seventh president, and they also said he's an asset, right? And they said anything that brings up.
They also say he is an asset.
In 2023, the CIA said that the president is an asset. Now, the FBI said it had invoked various exemptions from under the U.S. Freedom of Information Act in response to requests for records relating to the president from 1992 to 1993. According to the agency, releasing the withheld information would, amongst other things, disclose techniques and procedures for law enforcement investigations and/or could reasonably be expected to endanger the life or physical safety of any individual. Who are these individuals involved in this record that the FBI is worried about their safety? How bad is this record pertaining to the president that they feel it may also affect the president? In 2023 too, in the president's response to this, the president said, please, do not release my record or this particular investigation. It could cause me irreparable harm. But despite all of this, the president has not been officially convicted by any court, either here or outside the country, of being a convicted criminal, aside from the fact that, he let go $460,000, right? From the heroin trafficking, whatever. So based on this, the FBI says they're determined that it cannot provide on the public record the full basis for the application of the exemptions to certain withholdings, and that therefore an ex parte under seal declaration is necessary.
Well, you can see that when that was made public, there must have been a lot of diplomatic transactions going on. And aside that, the U.S., in fact, there's no two ways about it. There's level of compromisation here. Initially, we shall release. Now, we will not longer release. But be that as it may, they may have put into consideration that releasing this will cause disharmony in the society. And Nigeria is the biggest democracy in Africa. I'm not speaking for the US, but this could be an afterthought. And losing Nigeria, the biggest democracy in Africa, is losing a very big ally to the US. And our market is there. So they may have considered all this and see that and put into consideration that the level, the sensitivity of that will cause dysfunctionality in the system. And this dysfunctionality may even go to the extent of losing lives. Because I bet you, if that information is released today, Mr. President will be a gunner.
How? What precisely?
People will pull him down.
Which
will
people?
Say, politicians will say, let's pass a vote of no confidence on him. And he will be pulled down, and the people from his side will stand either to kick against, and before you know it, there will be a disharmony. And in order to abet that disharmony, is why they say, let's withhold this.
Okay, I'm sorry. Is it the same Senate that has officially endorsed the president? They don't contravene anything said. What do they want to release that most of them in that place don't even have wars or even have linkage to?
Hey, Esther, you see, the
dollar stacked in their homes, in their various properties. Is it linked by? Did you hear what the NDLEA just said about one Casey luxury guy whom they caught with tons, and this guy? So again, these guys, they have their affiliations. All of them know themselves. They can't tell us it's the salary.
But there must be a capone. In all of this, there must be a capone, and nobody wants his or capone, his leader, to be disgraced. If you are marching among the cartels, they'll say no. If you pull down the leader, you have pulled us down. So we always want to fight, just like the ant kingdom. You know, bees, just like that bees of ant kingdom. They always rally around again for their leader, because once you capture the leader, you've captured them. And I believe if it's not only one on this, and in order to avoid a state of disharmony in the country, that's why this is an afterthought.
Okay.
Already, U.S. has been compromised. Mind you, our oil, our market, if all this is done, before you know it, we say we don't want any dealing with the United States.
Yeah.
That we prefer going to Russia, just like Central Africa is doing. And you know, when you divert, when you move away, even though we are the biggest democracy in Africa, it will have a telling effect on them, on the economy. Just imagine the over $400 million that was let go. Where do you think that money is going to? Is it going to the purse of the president? No. It's going to the purse, to the economy of U.S.
So are we saying that the U.S. also has a hand in this? Because everyone calling U.S. come and do this. U.S. come and do Trump come and do this. It's obvious that they're profiteering from whatever is going on.
U.S. is not supra. You know, there's a difference between super and supra. U.S. is not supra powerful. And from the way US is going, it may likely begin to lose its powers in some areas.
Do you think some of Nigeria's resources have been let go for this particular thing to be kept under the seal?
Yes.
Because here is the thing. Apparently, this man called Aram Greenspan sought records concerning 4 individuals whom he said were linked to the drug ring, including the presidents, Lee Andrew Edwards, Muiz Adigboyega Akonde, and Abiodun Agbile.
And they are about to come. Tinubu is not the only one there.
Okay, no, these are the persons along with this particular
hold
record.
Tinubu too well, he will mention some of our past leaders, and you'll be so surprised about the rot that is going on. And that is why they must have calculated all this to say, look, let us not go and destroy this state.
All right, so 5 of the agencies responded that they could neither confirm nor deny the existence of the requested records. Then, dissatisfied with these responses, Greenspan approached the Department of Justice Office of Information Policy. The Office of Information Policy upheld the agency's refusal to confirm or deny the existence of the requested records according to court documents. So, on June 12th, that same 2023, this thing was ongoing.
Yes.
This was what article used. But it was, according to the tribunal, it was late. They now filed a lawsuit challenging the agency's use of what is known as a global response to the Freedom of Information Act request. A global response is an official refusal by a U.S. government agency to confirm or deny whether the requested records exist. The FBI the Drug Enforcement Administration, Internal Revenue Service, Executive Office for United States Attorneys and Department of State were named as defendants in that drug-related matter where the president was part of. They were named as defendants. You can imagine that. Now, the Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA, was later added, right, as a defendant in the first amended complaint. Defendants of this case. Remember the 5 agencies mentioned?
Yes.
The Central Intelligence Agency was later added. The FBI, the Drug Enforcement Administration Agency, that's DEA, the Internal Revenue Service of the United States of America. These are the defendants. So, Internal Revenue Service, Drug Enforcement Administration, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, that's the FBI. Then the Executive Office for United States Attorneys and Department of State. These were the defendants in this case, not plaintiff. They are to defend. They are the ones who are part of the linkage to this record to defend whether they should cover it or expose it. So it means that names of these agencies, certain persons are also part of this in the US.
Yes.
It will also rope them in.
It is a cartel.
Okay, so in April 2025, how rude that the responses issued by the FBI and DEA were improper and must be lifted. Remember I told you that was where the CIA said he was an asset. The judge held that the 2 agencies had failed to establish a sufficient reason why that record should be kept secret or private. The 2 agencies were the DEA and the FBI, or is it the DEA or the CIA?
CIA.
2 of them were sufficient enough to keep that particular matter secret, especially the fact that Tinubu was the subject of a criminal investigation. So Howell held that the FBI and DEA had failed to provide enough evidence to justify maintaining their global responses. So it was the FBI and the DEA. The DEA is the Drug Enforcement Administration, our own NDLEA, that are meant to expose all of these things. Those ones were the ones applying the global response as to why that record should be kept under seal. It's the same thing the FBI is applying now by saying that if they release it, certain persons will be harmed.
Yes. And mind you, they said the state service. And when we begin to talk about the state service, US don't joke with their state service. They don't joke with that. And that is why I started by saying there is high level of diplomacy going on with regards to this. And in such situations, USA begin to look at their interest.
So because of that,
what will happen if Nigeria goes down? What will happen if Mr. President is removed from office? What will happen if there are crises somewhere? And that what are the interests of the people pushing for this record? Is it to pull him down, to build up the nation, or is it for destruction, or to make sure that Nigeria is ungovernable? So all this must have been put into consideration before coming out to say this is our stand. And if you look at Atiku's interest or motive for this, it's just a matter of bring him down. He's not supposed to be there. Bring him down. Now, well, if I'm to advise Mr. President, though he's already clamoring for the next term.
Wike said it's a done deal.
He's already clamoring. And if this case if he can excel this case, in fact, he'll go for second term.
Well, I don't think they're bothered about the case anyway.
If he can escape, in fact,
it happened in 2023. Nothing happened.
No, don't say that. You look at the Egypt crisis that happened either 14 or 15 years after America brought it up and arrested the 6 people that bombed the plane, and they were tried. So for America, things like this may keep on dragging, but their interest is what they are always after.
That's Americans.
Yes, let us not think. Don't say they are calling for peace. I remember it is this same state, this same country that gave them some money to say Nigeria, the killing in Nigeria is not only targeted at
Christians.
That it is general across across the different religions. It is this same government that is equally pushing, giving money for them for the Boko Haram crisis, that for fueling and other things. So why will they come in to destabilize a country that they are that is underground enriching them and our oil too? So for now, the status quo remains that they are comfortable with what is happening, despite the lip service that they are coming to fight for you. Who will ever fight for you?
And is it possible they could use it as a control mechanism to control the president?
Why not? It's very, very sure.
Wow.
If you don't service us, we reveal your secret. It's very, very sure.
So
that is why I said
there could be a lot of conceding by this government.
By this government. That is why I said the state service of the US. Once it comes in, there's always high level of diplomacy. And that diplomacy is always I. And what is the importance of that I, United States. What do I stand to gain in this? What do I stand to gain in this? Because the scale is now on my hand.
Yeah.
I decide where the pendulum links to. And that pendulum they're still holding becomes a tool of control.
Especially if the president is more agreeable to work with them.
You can see
they cannot determine whoever comes in if the person would want to do exactly what they want the person to do.
No.
So they rather work with what they have.
You can see the pass mark given to Mr. President's wife. You can see if you watch the body language of America, you begin to pedal down that the things are getting better. You say now, if things are getting better, why must we dismantle the apple cart? It's not healthy. And I believe I'm not standing for US.
But that is what it is.
This is the afterthought.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's quickly get your responses. A lot of you have sent tons of messages and calls as well. The number to call is 080-3692-9933, 080-3692-9933. And the WhatsApp number is 0817-1756-338, 0817-1756-338. That is the WhatsApp number. So let's be very quick so we can accommodate as many calls and messages as possible. 60 seconds. Hello, good evening. Good evening, how are you? What is your name?
My greeting to your guest also. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Sir, what is your name?
Fine. Patrick is calling from Okota.
I don't know how this guy gets in here. Every time he's the first caller.
I really enjoyed the discussion from your historian. He has told us everything about the way things are going in Nigeria, the way they have been happening. And some of us who are old enough can actually hold on to everything that he has said here. But unfortunately, I don't know, they have not been able to provide a solution on how we are going to reunite this country again after the destruction of the colonialists and putting enmity from the southeast against the rest of the country. And it's still playing out up till now in every sphere of life in Nigeria. Wherever there's a southeasterner, it always causes it always causes mistrust and so on and so forth. How can we come about to review?
Mr. Patrick, you didn't hear when he gave a solution that all the panels we have heard, all the resolution that were applied, if the state applies it, then we're good to go. I think that was the recommendation you gave.
From 1952, 1954,
all the Louis panel you mentioned, up until the Oputa panel, all the recommendations given.
In fact, the Louis panel divided this country.
The Louis panel divided
this country.
Okay, so which of the panel is recommended to be applied?
Wiliki and the Oputa panel.
Wiliki and Oputa panel. All right. Thank you very much. Good evening, Esther. Please discuss other candidates as you discuss the president in virtually all the bulletins. Let's know what other candidates, Peter Obi and NDC, Atiku and ADC and SDP, we're in campaign era already. Thanks. Okay, this person sent this during the world news at 6. All right, you guys are always complaining Tinubu. Today I didn't talk of Tinubu. Somebody sent a message and said you are an Igbo station. See, these Nigerians, you can never bellyful them. All right, good day, VOP. Impersonation is not new, especially in the city of Abuja. Certain persons created fake ministries with over 300 staff and collected budget from the federal government. As for respect, some regions in our country don't have respect for elders. What they respect is how wealthy you are. Some even call their fathers by name, so it means nothing to them. Dewey from Shasha. All right, hello, good evening. How are you?
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. What is your name?
My name is Sylvester.
Your name is what?
Sylvester.
Sylvester, please go ahead very quickly. You have 60 seconds.
I have heard what you are just speaking.
Can you speak up, sir? Your voice is very low. We can barely hear you.
I said I'm interested for what you are just speaking.
What is your name?
Sylvester.
John.
Okay. Okay.
John, can you speak up? You're interested in what we are saying. So what do you want to contribute?
What I want to contribute is that this country, we need to divide. Let the Biafra start.
You don't start now. All of you safe now. Wow. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Maybe we have some time to talk about Biafra.
Good evening, sir. Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Can you turn down the volume of your radio?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Turn down the volume of your radio. There's a feedback.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
What is your name?
This is Samuel calling from Okafa.
Samuel, very quickly, please go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, what I want to say is concerning the American U.S. response to this document. You know, America should be concerned about.
Hello. All right, please. When you call into the program, go straight. How do I explain it? Synchronize your thoughts properly. You have a very short time to speak, so synchronize your thoughts properly. Don't call on air and you're thinking of how you want to conceptualize what you want to say. It's very, very important. So if you've been following the conversation, I'm sure you already have one or two ideas you want to put, or reaction or criticism or recommendation. Quickly do that. Okay.
Go straight to it.
Just go straight to the point, please. Let's not drag this whole thing so we can accommodate calls. Hello. Good evening. Hello. All right, 08036929933. That's the number to call. All right, hello, good evening.
Good evening,
Turn down the volume of your radio very quickly.
Sorry, please. Sorry. Good evening.
Good evening. What is your name?
Good evening. This is Malik speaking.
Malik, welcome. How buddy? Happy Friday.
I do. The same to you at the Go Club.
I know now. Trust you.
Good evening.
Where you know go buy me?
I don't blame you. You don't follow me go there before. So you trust me. Well done, sir.
Well done.
Esther.
Sir.
You can see how another person are ready to destroy us, and we support them to destroy us.
Too.
Esther, is it not the same America that went to remove Venezuela president?
Mm-hmm.
What was the excuse? What was the excuse? That he's doing on drugs.
Yes, so.
That he was doing on what? On drugs, oh. That was the excuse they gave, oh. Then the same American made a rebel Syria president. Right or wrong?
Right.
So what are we saying?
Self-interest.
As long as it favors America, nothing you will do. Nothing you will do. Esther, if Anini were alive today, and Anini give America an idea that will favor them, they'll make Nigeria president.
Oh yes, you are right.
They will clean all his dirtiness and tell you how good Anini is. That by that time was just this or the work of the devil. What are they trying to hide again? If the present hand is clean, bring out the documents. But you don't annoy me. You don't annoy me, Esther.
No.
All the politicians knew all of this since 1999. And I said something to you, Esther. Whoever fights somebody, you might not see tomorrow.
Oh.
Ganifa inside the fight. What happened to him?
He's resting in peace.
Jama was involved. He has to wear jersey and support. If not so, we know nothing will happen. No. I don't even understand me. Somebody again came on board. Did this thing? Doing a quick way. Remember when the Labour Party, the way he lambasts the president? Before small thing, they say cancer. Can you find me? Cancer. You don't fight somebody and scot free. Oh. That makes the people go say, if you cannot beat them, you join them. Oh. Esther, let me tell you something.
Malik, 60 seconds.
There is finally, it all lies in Nigerians' hands. By this time, we'll stop taking noodles and Jericho rice and Gary and vote the right person will not be in this mess.
You're right.
Good afternoon.
You're very right, Malik. You're very right. Esther, this Sunday afternoon show with Alester and Murphy should be cancelled. Okay, needs to be cancelled. It's absolutely shame. Wow, not fit for VOP standards. I've taken the complaint to the owner of the company, so let's hear what the final decision would be. Me, I'm working here. I'm not the owner of the company. All right. Good evening, Esther. I wish Nigerians can stop the blame game on the visitation of Governor Ademola Adeleke to the president and Wike after he has just been re-elected for a second time. I would like to start with the okay. Wow. Your calls, you guys. I want to take calls and messages at the same time so we can have a balanced dinner. I would like to start with the saying that if you must dine with the devil, your spoon must belong. The fact that the governor won in the just concluded election in Osun State is not a final declaration and guarantee that he will retain the position. Reason being that we have seen a situation where number 4 in an election conducted in Nigeria became no, this one, I think the matter don't seal because when he went, the president was happy with him. Hello, good evening. Hello? Good evening, how are you?
Fine.
What's your name?
My name is Chifongmere. I'm a first caller.
Oh, wow.
First time caller.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. You are doing well.
Thank you, sir.
You are doing good. My contribution is that most of the people that have been trying to make advanced solutions to Nigerian problem, they have not been implemented. Most of the committees, whatever committee that is being put in place, doesn't see the light of the day. And I wish that this time around that most of those issues are trying to humiliate us. I think it's better that we form a committee that its recommendations can be implemented and address some of these problems that are actually behaving the country. Nobody should begin to, because we know we cannot solve this problem through constitutional provisions, through constitutional amendments, because most of the people that are in the position of the National Assembly do not understand the rudiments of the country. And most of them that understood these rudiments are no longer in politics. And if I were the government, if I were the president, I would like to form a committee which its recommendation will be used to address so many of these problems that are humiliating us.
Thank you very much, sir. God bless you. Good evening, Esther. I greet your guests in the studio. My name is Gabriel from Ikorodu. Esther, campaign has started. I want to state it clearly that I'm tired of suffering. I'm tired of Tinubu and his APC incompetent leadership. I'm tired of all their rascality, disregard for decency and rule of law. Anybody that isn't tired of all these can go ahead and collect packs of noodles, tin tomato, and pasta that comes only during the electioneering period to vote incompetence. For me and my family, a vote will go to the most credible and competent politician in Nigeria now, Mr. Peter Gregory Obi. All right. Hello. Good evening. How are you?
Hello. Good evening. How are you?
Turn down the volume of your radio, please. Hello. Hello. Turn down the volume of your radio. Hello. Please, when you call, turn down the volume of your radio. I beg you, please. 08036929933. Hello, good evening.
Esther.
Sir?
Let me call you like my beer palo barista.
It's not beer palo.
Yes, now.
Hey. Good evening. How you doing?
Today from Isolo.
Sunday, welcome. Happy Friday.
Yeah. This analyst, he did well. Well done to him.
like we do say now, that's why they lose some of our callers. Those times when we tell on at that time, say Donald Trump and America, they are not after our well-being. They are only after their own interest. But this is your station, they will say people like us, we don't know what they are. We are saying, let America come, let them come. You see, these people, just like the way they did to Africa and the other nations like that, they are only after their own. And that's why I said, Shumure, I have sat down. I have looked at this man's point. He's the only fearless man. He doesn't care about who Obi is. He doesn't care about who president is. He doesn't care about anybody. He kill everybody. Passports. That is the reality. That is my own candidate. Obi, I saw what he did in Anambra. It's nothing significant. That's why I say all these things, you are just hyping him. It's not what you guys are claiming to be. Tinubu on his own part is not doing well. The economy, the policy that they say he has done, I have not seen the impact. That is for him. I like Atiku Abubakar with President Obasanjo in their own time. I was not contented with their system too. So let us try agile person, which is Showore. That is my point. Finally, on your analyst now, he was saying something that Southeasterners now, how to increase population, maybe they should be giving birth. Please, I want to
not
ask
giving
now,
birth, like they
is
should
it
marry
the
more than...
I didn't say so.
You didn't say so, but...
I didn't say so.
Region now that they will be giving birth, because with the level of mass migration of Easterners now to Western states, is it here now that they want to be giving birth to many, many children? That means they will turn to...
No, I never said so.
Don't mind Tunde. Tunde, when he calls in, is
Mr.
that thing,
Tunde,
is that thing that is in his head he wants to say. So, Mr. Tunde, so that because you're national radio and we're also streaming internationally, let me correct your deliberate misinterpretation of what the analyst said this evening, because sometimes I feel some of the things that you say is deliberately misconcepted. So he did not say to be burning children. Again, the whole narrative of is in the southwest, you want you guys. Tunde, after making an intelligence submission, you also went back to the archaic, primitive, barbaric reasoning that we're telling ourselves to stop doing. This is well with you.
Times are no longer the same.
This is well with you. Okay. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome. How are you? Turn down the volume of your radio. Hello?
How many years now have been trying this?
What is your name? What is your name? You have 60 seconds.
Christopher from Jesha.
Christopher, first time?
Yes.
Christopher from Jesha.
Welcome, sir. Please quickly go ahead. Quickly go ahead.
Thank you very much, my sister. May God bless you in Jesus' name.
Amen. You're welcome.
Thank you. So what I want to say about this America or something, you know, those people, it's like all this money the Tinubu is spending to quench this matter is our money. So it doesn't concern him. If I were to be a tip, I would ask him to just withdraw himself from that. That is that because America is looking for money to develop their own country. Number two, the week is what they call this is he knows how to write what they call it the result. So when the hour comes, we know who is going to write that one for him.
All right.
We know what to do. So
thank you very much. God bless you. Like I said, when you call, put your thoughts together. Put your thoughts together. It's important. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Esther. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well, sir. What is your name?
Yeah, this is C2 calling from Freetown, Sierra Leone.
C2, welcome, sir. It's been quite a very long time. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Esther, I want to remind, thank you for your good job anyway. And
thank you.
Thanks for your the guest that you brought there.
Yeah.
And I want to remind your guest something. There's one of the war he couldn't add, which is about human riot on 1928 or 29. Yes, so that one is included when the Igbos were fighting British. British is the source of our problem today. We know that. And we can never give up, no matter what it is. And let me say something regarding the criminality of some Nigeria agencies in the southeast. You know, cornering our people and taking them, blindfolding them, taking them in the bush, and them asking them for money. If they refuse, they will tag them IPOB and ESM.
Yes.
I don't blame them about this that incident. Do you know who I blame? I will blame Dave Umahi and Hope Uzodinma. These are the two people. These are the two governors who was deceived by the Fulanis. I will call them. Esther, allow me to call them. Through Muhammadu Buhari regime, okay? They were deceived by you gonna be the president, Hope Uzodinma is gonna be the vice, how they program them. And they declare their brothers and sisters as a terrorists. They are the ones, these governors are the ones that declare, no Muhammadu Buhari, I say the truth, I down the consequences. Not the regime of, is the Igbo politicians who single-handedly call their brothers and sisters terrorists, and then the Nigerian government have to adopt by it. And what we get since then, Nigerian agencies start killing anybody they see because they know that nobody is going to defend these people. They say they have representatives, they say they have speakers, but nobody is saying nothing. You pick up a young boy, you want to extort to him, you call him IPOB and ESM, you take him in the bush, and then if they refuse to pay, you shoot him dead, or you whisk him away and harvest their organs. These things are happening in Imo State, more especially in Imo State.
Yes,
Esther,
yeah.
we don't make things up here. It's a fact. No, I can give you a fact.
There's video evidence of everything.
I said it.
We talked about it during the news and now as well. Again, you're not saying anything far-fetched.
Yes.
Hello? Yeah, so Esther, even last time there is a guy who came back from, I think that guy was either Dubai or Korea. These things happens to him. He came on, I don't know if you saw the video went viral. He came on social media and said, these things happens to me.
Yeah.
He was saying it in Owerri, that if you are coming, please remove any foreign currencies. That some security agencies hijacked him and cornered him and said, if you look at these places, you can see the dead bodies. This guy, the video is there. And if you refuse to give us money, we will kill you and nobody will knows about you. But we said we have governor in that state. Hope Uzodinma single-handedly released Imo State for a crime scene. And that is why me, myself, is campaigning. These governors will be held responsible. And who is going to hold them responsible is Peter Obi. They know this. They know who Peter Obi is. But this is the reason why they are fighting him. Don't let nobody deceive you. They know who Peter Obi is very, very well. And they will be held responsible for their crime. That is why you see P2B does not, just keep quiet on that side. Because he knows exactly what he's going to do. Let me tell you, when Anambra State was hot, when P2B was there, Anambra State was hot, when P2B came in, what happened? I ask, they know what happened. When Uba family think that they have arrived because they know Obasanjo, P2B cut up their feather. Today, the Uba family cannot, they are irrelevant in Anambra State. It's a fact. When they were, terrorizing the Anambra State, what did P2B did to them? These Igbo politicians know who P2B is. They know who he is. That is why you can see Soludo jumping up and down, calling all manner of names. Doing all because they know that P2B will never take all this. They are rubbish. They know this. Thank you very much. As of for Imo State. As for Imo State, Hope Uzodinma will be held responsible for his crime. After all, he said that if it is only one person remain, he will govern it. If this is a governor in the state saying if it is only one person remain, he will govern them like that, which means he authorized the killing of his own people. He purposely sit on the mandate does not belong to him. That seat Hope Uzodinma is sitting belongs to Ihedioha. Imo State did not vote him. Nobody knows this man. Nobody knows him.
Thank you so much.
That was why I said the East should hold their governors accountable.
Their leaders are the ones alarmed. Because Imo State, if
the regions,
it even happens to be that it's more in Imo State.
Yes, if the regions could come together and to say federal government, no, this shouldn't be.
Ganduje, I don't know if you remember, after 2023 elections, Ganduje went to the southeast.
Yes.
And he said this thing, this thing you just said. Ganduje said, look at the southeast now, all of you are Ibozo, but then you have APC, Imo States, Abga, Anambra States, Ebonyi, APC,
LP,
Abia, Labour Party. That you guys have different political parties, right? Now that they should not allow the interests of those political parties to divide them. He said they can be in those different political parties, but they're supposed to work together. But unfortunately
they are not.
So long as they remain divided, that the APC will win the
continue.
Southeast.
Yes.
That's
So
what that man said.
If the governors are sensible enough,
they don't get sense. I'm sorry.
If the governors
they
are
don't get
sensible
sense.
enough, they
because
should
he
come
said
together
something.
and have an economic summit within that.
Look at the Southwest.
It's a landlocked region.
No,
They should
look
be
at
able
the
to control
Southwest.
it.
Look at the North.
Yes.
All of them are in different political parties. Aside from now that you have more of them in APC.
APC.
But they work together.
Yes, they do. They do. And same thing should be applicable.
They have Southwest
to the
Governors Summit where they met recently. I don't see Southeast Governor Summit. Northern people, the northern leaders met when they were discussing insecurity, where they all said they were going to donate.
And equally made, the northern regions equally made in form of the northern elders. So when we begin to talk of depletion of development and resources, our leaders should be held accountable.
The Southeast
leaders should be made
I don't want my emotion.
There are certain things we can't say.
We can't
say on air, but that should be the real thing.
The Ekumeku War causes, leaders, British response and consequences. The Ekumeku War was one of the longest and most determined anti-colonial resistance movements in what is now southeastern Nigeria. It was fought mainly by the Anioma people of Western Igbo land, particularly communities in present-day Delta State, against British political and military expansion. The resistance began in the late 19th century, continued intermittently until about 1914. The causes of the war: British imperial expansion. This person just go. Thank you for your research.
We've said all that.
Iwoha Godwin, thank you so much for that. This also said, Esther, please direct your sound engineer to do something about your intro tune. Maybe you should record it to sound perfect through. Keep the good work. Baba Davo. Explain, I know be engineer. Engineer, you the good evening to you and your historical guest. Big thanks to him. Esther, you see the Igbo has really gone through a lot in this country, just that the hand of God is upon them. You see the reason why Igbo has not been allowed to be president. Mock fake agency will still be discovered because the evil started from the top. Even the past president, you heard what he answered. Esther, it's terrible. Iheme from Agor. All right, Iheme, good evening. Thank you for that message. Hello, good evening.
Is that
Hello? Turn down the volume of your radio now.
Yes, this is VOP.
Good evening, sir. What is your name?
My name is Emeka.
Emeka, good evening. Please go ahead.
Good evening. I'm calling for Papa. In response to the last caller,
yeah,
Imo said people should hold them accountable, responsible, and castigate him. He has killed a lot of people in Imo State. Hello?
Go ahead,
yeah,
sir. We're hearing you.
Yes.
Apart from that, he suited Tiger Base, killing youth in the state. Every responsible Imo entity should guard against hope. Whether hope go to moon or he must be held responsible for the crime he has committed in Imo State.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that's all you wanted to say. Hello, good evening.
Hello, Esther. Good
evening. Welcome. How are you? What's your name?
This is Ebuka from Ebeda.
Ebuka, welcome. Ebuka, I can't say your name. I don't know your name.
First caller. First
caller.
Or first-time caller.
He's not a first-time caller. You see now, I don't understand. Ebuka. Okay. Hello. Good evening. Good evening to you. Thank you for your good work. Thank you very much. I appreciate. Thank you very much for that. This person says, Esther, what do the Igbos want us to believe? That the federal government of Nigeria that has southeastern representatives like Dave, Bianca, and others are anti-Igbo? Obviously, the aforementioned government functionaries and others, including Orji Kailo, Hope Uzodimma, and Charles Soludo, don't agree with you. And why so one cannot understand. In addition, why are the said persons indifferent to the militarization of the South? It's a very good question. One can conclude the Igbos are their worst enemies. Very, very good. Whatever. Charles Soludo is busy antagonizing Peter Obi over what one cannot put a finger on. Jude from Ota. You remember I said something here. I said when some persons were saying they want to go their way, they want Biafra, and I said, if you want that, tell your Southeast leaders, tell your House of Rep members and the senators and the governors, tell them they're the ones right now that can present that agenda.
Yes.
Write a blueprint on how they want to go about it, so it's bloodless. I have always, said that. Because that's the only way. But when you have politicians who only think about themselves and don't think about their people, they don't care. They'll throw you to the wolves. So how do you deal with that?
You can even see the likes of Ojikalu going there to cry.
Do you understand?
Shed crocodile tears.
That makes no sense. Meanwhile, they live in opulence. Ostentatious lifestyle. Go and see their houses in abroad. With their big... like I said...
Let's continue.
Let's not start.
We don't be
because
so
if we start here...
emotional.
Esther, good evening to you and your guests. Please tell your guests that the Eastern guys' desperation to increase their population should be done in the East. Another...
Same is
another primitive person. So, Tunji from Keno. Tunji, again, I am not responsible for you not appropriately comprehending the conversation this evening. Tunji from Keno Isolo, if you had started from the beginning of this conversation, we talked about polygamy. The essence, whether we should start embracing polygamy
or not.
Because the Southeast has been depopulated.
Yes.
And when you talk about embracing polygamy, it's marrying more than one wife, which used to be our culture and tradition in the past. Why are you bringing this concept, these children, this Tunji from Isola? Are you a child?
We only use
Can
that.
you stop this thing?
To start
You guys are beginning to imitate
culture,
me.
Then where we are and we
Hello?
say,
Good evening. They deliberately miscomprehend and then write out this fallacy. It makes no sense. Good evening. How are you?
How are you doing?
I'm fine. What's your name?
I'm fine. This is...
What's going on now? That. What's going on with our WhatsApp? Engineer, come and help our life here. Are you not engineer? See Austin. See us, Austin, whatever himself. Don't mind Austin, no the shame. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Hello, good evening.
How are you, sir? Welcome. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Olabi. I'm calling from Aza.
Ola, welcome. Please open your mouth and talk. Are you holding something inside there?
No. I'm not. Good evening.
The echo is much here.
No, not the echo, like as if that he's eating or something.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Is it Awa? Am I right?
Mr. Awa, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I just want a quick one. I want to say something. If someone or parents decide to force their children into getting married, the problem. If they go through any issue in the marriage without them, coming together voluntarily, the first blame will be on the parents because the children did not really understood or understand themselves.
Yeah.
They were just forced to come together. My own take is the first person or the main problem we are having is the British. They had different interests.
Yes.
I get me compared to the people living around, because one thing you need to understand, if you come together, understand people's culture. Like me, I love traveling everywhere in Nigeria. I love to learn their culture, know how to greet them, how to do everything, because I love this country. But when you decide you have someone up there and decide to say, okay, let's force these people and bring them together without knowing their culture, their language, letting them to fuse together, integrate together. But I know one day we'll get it right in this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ola. Thank you for that. Hello, good evening. How are you? Good evening, sir. What is your name? The Good.
Yeah, the Good. Can you hear me?
Yes, the Good. Welcome, sir. How are you?
I'm fine. I greet your guest, Mr. Awa.
Thank you, sir.
So, a quick one, please. What I want to say is this. Based on the analysis and everything you people have been saying in that this night and all these things, you can see that the major problem we have in this country is the politicians. The politicians are our major problem. And we don't know how to go about this thing because they have dominated everywhere. Even their children now, they are fixing them in government. The thing again is America. I don't understand how America will be a thorn in the flesh of. This is why Ibrahim Traore is chasing them away. Ibrahim Traore, do you see what that guy is doing in Burkina Faso? They have tried all they can do. Even the Malian guys, see what they are doing to terrorists in the desert. Kudos to those guys. I raise my hand. I am so surprised that those guys are Muslim guys. Oh, they are not Christians. Oh. They are not Christians. So you can see what I'm saying. Then another one is, I'm from Imo State. Look at what happens of the master Imo State. I remember, oh my goodness. I remember Imo State has been the peaceful state in all over the world.
Yes, it's true. During Rochas Okorocha's time.
Peaceful state in Nigeria, in all over the world. I am so surprised that what has been going on in Imo State. And it's hard time that Imo lights
hold these politicians responsible, most especially Opus of them, because we don't know how we came into that place. Do you understand? So the major problem we have as the politician, I don't know to use this statement. If there is a way we can start capturing these men, it can give mind, all of them.
Bye-bye.
Please, the only way you can capture them is through your car to go and vote and hold them accountable.
No be here. Esther, my sister, you know, this evening I personally found it very irritating listening to the guest on your show this evening. I hope your guest will have the opportunity to replace some of the things he said on radio and self-judge his damaging utterances deliberately aimed to make Igbos to continue to feel cheated by other people from other regions. Today, Igbos are everywhere in the southwest and other places in Nigeria, residing and doing their businesses unhindered. Many of them call on the show to make derogatory comments without concrete evidence to validate their claims, yet they are not picked up because Nigeria is practicing democracy. Victimization rhetoric can only entrench pervasive hatred. Tell your guests to refrain from hateful tendencies. I am Ahmed. All right, Ahmed. It's possible that some of you did not join us from the beginning of this conversation.
The guy wants us to change history.
So no, well, and I talked about the fact that you told me about the Ekumeku War, that the Southeast has been involved in wars even before the Nigerian Civil War, which has led to their depopulation. And again, I'm going to explain this for the last time. Yesterday during the show, Mr. Darlington Aguma was saying, show me in the Bible where it says polygamy is a sin. And Madam Pinto had come here and she has said something that, please, Southeasterners, our men, you need to start marrying more than one wife. That is Christianity that you adopted. You know, do us any
no population.
You know. Now, there are people that will say population doesn't matter. You may have a population that is not educated, that is not whatever. It will be a demoralization or a retrogression for your community or your region. If they're well educated, you can utilize them properly and develop your economies as an asset. So these are the angles we're looking at. And when I said, okay, fine. How do we resolve this? You understand? People are coming again and saying whatever. He was going back in time to all the wars fought, and which has annihilated the population of the Southeast, which has made them travel to all the nooks and crannies of the world to find refuge if their own home is not safe. And up to now, we are having issues. We're calling out our politicians. So I really don't understand you guys.
You see, it all depends on how people comprehend things.
I said people deliberately miscomprehend things because of a certain mindset,
we
and it's wrong.
from a certain history to a level where they are building. You see, if you had continued this analysis, you would discover that the Igbo man is a builder.
Hello? Turn down the volume of your radio. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Wait, thank God.
Welcome. What is your name?
I'm Nema from Moshori.
All right, go ahead.
Because I want to...
I don't know why network they do us like this today. Hello, good evening. Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Welcome. How are you? Is this Mr. Paul?
Yeah, this is Mr. Paul from Egbeda.
Mr. Paul,
good evening.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Yeah. Esther, I will personally campaign for you to win award. In fact, you deserve it. I am going to write. I will go to social medias. You deserve to be rewarded. You and one lady that was working with Nigeria Info, Sandra Ezdekwesili.
Oh.
Two of you are exceptional.
What's going on? The thing keeps cutting off. Not just, okay, is there an agenda? Let me not go paranoid though. Maybe
the Ekumeku war has come back.
Where else? Where go? I didn't say I won't resolve this thing, no. Yeah.
Some don't like history, so they don't want to even read about it or even hear about it.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I am fine, sir. Welcome. What's your name?
Good. My name is Ozemena. I'm calling from Enugu, Gulf City, Enugu.
Ozemena. I love that name.
Yes.
Welcome, sir.
Yes, thank you very much. This topic is very, very, very interesting. But then, let me just quickly lay a background of information concerning the major issues that depopulated in the Igbo. First of all, if you see these Igbo people, historically, they are the voted ethnic group in this country.
You're right.
1,000 years, they've been on grass. Nsuka means Nsu is supreme. You can check Meta AI to give you the full meaning of Nsuka.
Then, along the line, as time goes on, the Arab group came in, that's necessary. Of course, the colonialists, they knew have intelligence information about these groups of people. Then, before, when the slave trade now started, empower the Arab people. Arab people established 92 slave camps outside their ancestral homes.
Good.
The last one was the one at Opopa in Soka, near the university. If you go to Ebonyi State, for example, now, no indigenous Arab Igbo man has ever governed that state. From Samuel to Wefu, there was Arab business, including the other one making noise, Umai. It's not in the same mood like the Dr. Okuneon, with a direct sense from Umuporo. It was Dr. Alex Ekweme that instituted the Arab hegemony in Ebonyi State. During the slave trade, Arab people uprooted over 5 million.
Good.
The thing will just cut. Something is wrong.
Good.
They'll be talking and the call will just go off. Just cut off. Something is wrong. I don't know what is wrong.
Yes, good. The man just mentioned the point which we overlooked. And we did not just overlook it because we did not intentionally overlook it. I didn't say it because it was a general thing. And that has to do with slave trade. It was general.
Slave trade was general.
General. Yes.
Yeah. Good evening, beloved Esther, your guest. He is a he's a historian. I think that's what he intended to that. May God bless him. My name is Azuka from Alakija. Please, how can I get the audio? We're streaming on YouTube, so you can get it on YouTube anytime. Just go on it, and it's safe there. You can rewatch it. Good evening, VOP. My name is No Big Man in Boston. For me, Senator Wike make a wrong statement. We'll hold him accountable. All right, No Big Man. Esther, I just imagine a Nigeria that didn't have the existence of people like IBB, Buhari, Tinubu, Ororo from Ayobo. All right, Ororo. Esther, hello, VOP. Hello, VOP. Good evening. Good evening to you. Imo State is the highest educated state in Nigeria. Okay, I think it was yesterday. Hello, VOP. I think Atiku is doing the right thing. We need to sanitize our political setting. For Atiku to raise this issue again is a thing to do. Let the president defend himself. Nothing is bad on that. Okay. All right. Johnson from Agege. All right, Johnson. Paul, very quickly, please, before this thing goes off again, turn down the volume of your radio.
Hello.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
I can hear you. Go ahead, very quickly.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is this. Remember about President Noriega, how America picked him up? Then the president of Venezuela, he was picked up on the basis of this case, drug issues. So you see, the problem we have outside our tribal differences is the Western world. And then our political leaders, before they will be allowed to ascend to those offices and positions, they have to compromise. So the Western world decide who becomes the president of this country. Take it or you leave it. Right. And that is why we are having the weakest among us leading us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Paul. Thank you. Good evening, VOP. As a 20-something-year-old Igbo boy who what's going on? All right. Okay. All right, who knows what Indibo has been through? I have come to know that Nigeria, as created by the British, was created not to work nor function effectively. As a result, I am not necessarily calling for separation. I'm calling for de-amalgamation, a peaceful constitutional restructuring that give Nigeria's constituent people genuine autonomy, justice, and the freedom to determine how they wish to coexist. If unity must endure, let it be sustained by choice, consent, equity, mutual respect, not by force, fear, military aggression, intimidation, or historical compulsion. That, to me, is a more intelligent path forward towards the right direction. Social thinker from Mount 12. Thank you.
You're right.
Auntie Esther, Igbo people hoping Trump will give us Biafra have seen this man called Trump can be trusted. He goes where he gains, but our Igbo brothers will be shouting, Trump, Trump. Chima from Ojo Alaba. All right, Joe Timothy says, Joe, if you know my problem, Ada, please, I need this guy's contact. He sounds historical. I love him, and it seems you read or picked messages and calls.
Which man is that man?
I don't know. Say, Mr. This our people, me I don't lie for you.
Maybe it needs my contact.
They no go discombobulate me. Line, no be me when I go do this one too. Good evening, Esther, Honorable Shore. Okay, this was when Shore was here. This is a Okay. I am Babeji. Good evening, Esther and our guests. Please, I think I love what US is doing. Let them release our president's document because we Nigerians really want to know who our president is. And if Nigeria and Nigerians don't want to be included, don't want to be including the Igbos in the governance of the country, then I will suggest we should allow them to have their Biafra. My thoughts though. All right. Good evening. How are you doing today? I have been eager to hear your voice. Oh, Emeka. Okay. Let me take Emeka's number. I mean, Mr. Awa. You say we should go into the world and multiply.
Not just multiplication. You should be able to fend for them.
Fend for them. Oh, yes. Emeka, can you take
good,
care of me?
Take good care of them. Mm-hmm.
Esther, good evening. It's unfair. Oh. Why after sending message, you read and interject at the point where it will not make any meaningful sense to listeners? Are those of us sending messages not part of the program? Ogbeni, who are you?
You are sorry for that.
I don't understand.
If there's anything,
I don't know
it wasn't
anything.
Intentional.
I have much to say, but my message, John from Ijaniki. My take is article and subsidy. In as much as I'm still doubting him, we can still try him because Tinubu never had a proper planning on subsidy removal. You take the money away from unelected cabals and you gave it to elected 36 cabals and you called it achievement. He should ask himself, what is the impact of it on the masses? We're waiting for him at the polling unit. John from Ijaniki. So John, why do you say your message will not be read? I'm starting from the beginning. Oh. Good evening. I'm Engineer Inde Moruf. I said there is no single sense or logic in all that Aisha lady talked. Is this okay? This was yesterday. Okay, today. All right. Good evening. I am Engineer Ainde Morif. Concerning the Igbo issue, in my humble opinion, Igbos are not exempted in whatever challenges they're facing since and now. Self-governance they're clamoring for were scuttled and made difficult, if not impossible, by them through the action or inaction of their leaders. First, when the country was being put together, Ahmadu Bello and particularly Awolowo sought that secession clause be put in the constitution joining us together. But Azikiwe, an Igbo leader, went against it, went further, and anybody who seems to succeed should be punished. Second, there were a regional government by each tribes in the country, the southwest, southeastern, and northern regions, which were a sort of self-rule by each tribes, and there is a major peaceful competitive development in the country then. The resources of each tribes are controlled by them, but Awiransi, another Igbo man, came on board and abrogated the self-rule. All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Engineer Ayunde Morif. That's a very long one. Good evening, Esther. Good evening to you as well. Thank you very much for your message. My name is Prince Samuel of OBC Oji from Ajigun Lepakpa, Lagos. This APC government has done more damage to Nigerians than good. A new Nigeria is possible. All right. Hello, Esther. Good evening. I don't know why institutions allow Tinubu to act as if he is above the law. Why has he not submitted his primary and secondary school certificate and INEC accepted him as a candidate? Good evening. Good evening to you as well. Good evening, Esther Wachiko and the guests in the studio. Esther, to be candid with you, since 1999 we came back to democracy. All the people that took over power have one criminal record or the other. Esther, if you can remember, this 419 drug pushers of a thing started mostly during Babangida's regime. I may or know many of them, especially from southeast or many parts of the country. All of them are partners in crime. Oh God, arise and trouble those that are troubling Nigerians. Mayor from Ikot to Egbe. Good evening, VOP. Nice hearing from CT again. It has been a very long time. Amobi from 7 and 8. Very true. You're right, Amobi. Good evening, Esther, your guest in the house. Mr. Showara is a good dreamer. The only living perfect master. He has nothing. Kingsley, you can't say that. He has been consistent. Esther, good evening to you. Good evening to you as well. If the record that America are conducting on the president has not been released, and I believe that no one is coming to help us, I suggest that Mr. Peter Obi should also gather the Southeast governors for a meeting. Why can't he do that? I wish I can move out of this country. If you move out of this country, where do you want to go? Good evening. Now that the president has repeatedly said he has been able to pay salaries and pensions by removing subsidy, what an exhibition of ignorance and illiteracy to hold this kind of belief when the so-called salaries being paid cannot buy any food in the market. We have a president that believes that without subsidy removal, Nigerian government will not be able to pay their workers. We're laughing till hysteria at this kind of presidential statements. Tochukwu Adele Thompson from Obanikoro. Miss Esther, good evening. How are you, sir? Thank you very much. Make them hide record. Make we focus on the certificate. Which one be fake? Which one be the real? Oh yeah, the next line of action. Aries from Isolo. All right. Good evening to you as well, Aries. I'm noticing something I have to voice out. Good evening, Esther, Mr. Omiko. You people are doing well. Mr. Omiko, you didn't mention our war with the British that was the last war in Igbo land that opened gate to southeastern region by the British. The British found out that the Igbos are more intelligent and united than other regions. Paul from Agor Palace. And then Paul, because of his impatience, said he's noticing something. He has to voice out. You hardly read my messages. Una, nobody can believe for you people. Una get problem.
Yes. That Taro war was very, very key.
Yeah. Good evening, Esther, and your guest. Esther, please say what you want to say. A lot of us are in support of you. Our governors in the East should be held responsible and accountable for all the shenanigans and underdevelopment of the region. Enough of shouting out at the federal. Let's speak truth to power. Thanks. Yemi from Songwater. Yemi, if I talk the way I want to talk, then they'll criticize me and say I'm not. I'm meant to be a moderator. I'm not meant to give my own personal opinion. So, and I was already getting riled up. So I really didn't want to get emotional because I have a lot of grouse. If I need to speak about our region, I have a lot.
A lot to say.
A lot to say. And if I say it here, the so-called Esther is Hausa person or whatever people will start coming up. Because if I should
the
start,
hate speech again will come up.
I'm telling you, they'll say I'm not Igbo. Because if I should start, oh my God, nah. Good evening, Esther and the guests. I don't understand the reason why you hang up on me the moment I mention my name. I'm not happy about what Tinubu is doing to the country. Prince Prosper, did I hang up on you? The call went off when you were about to speak. And you heard me calling Austin, who shouted and said, Esther, don't call my name. Queen Esther, who will speak for us? Is it the Abuja governor of Imo State or those looking towards grabbing APC corrupt wealth? God is going to visit us in no time by giving us a David Unwabeke. Esther, good evening to you. Good evening as well. I am Solomon Asika from Mushin. The killings that happened in Imo State, if being revealed, Esther, you will weep for humanity. Secondly, okay, good evening. Thank you very much. Hey, there is nothing like victimization going on. If you have a problem about your own state or tribe, you should come out and say it. These same Igbos are calling are the ones that even cry harder when other tribes are affected. Secondly, all Igbo governors know what they're doing. No matter how they sell their brothers, they'll pay with their lives. What is your name? You didn't put your name here. All right. Good evening, Esther, and your guests. I don't think. Okay. See, Esther, we're the problem of ourselves. We Nigerians know the kind of politicians that will save us, but we don't want to be saved. We have almost 19 presidential aspirants. Why not Nigerians choose a known aspirant and vote him or her in? Please tell Nigerians to go and find out what happened to Funsho William, Gani Fawahimi, MK Abiola, Major General Adeni, Late Colonel Abu Ali, Colonel H.S. Smiler, Colonel Baku. I am Black Beetle from Lake Chad Desert. All right. Hello, Esther. Hello to you as well. Good evening. Good evening. My name is Engineer George from Amuwo. The Republican and belief system of an Igbo is parallel to that of the Western world. Hence, there is this oppressive dominance. That is why the British detested the Igbo man's brazenness and audacity. The Aba Women's Riot of November 24th, 1929 was a classic example of how Southeasterners oppose the arbitrary imposition of taxation on the Easterners.
Yes.
All right. Good evening, Esther, your wonderful guest. In fact, Esther, your guest is an epitome of knowledge and a historian par excellence. He really made my day for his history about the Republican nature of Igbos. On fake agency, there are more to come. Esther, why did PBAD pass vote of confidence on Baja, his chief of staff, and order the immediate arrest of the promoters of the newly discovered fake agency and the permanent secretary that will amount to miscarriage of justice? The level of corruption in this administration is terrible. May God help Nigeria. Online chief from Iowa. Sir, what's your final take? Because we've exceeded our time.
Nigeria will be better in years to come. Only if we can come together and hold our leaders accountable.
Okay.
Especially, in fact, there have been the commissions they've had very, very good reports on how to run this country. But it's just that the politicians don't have the willpower. And now, with gradual disintegration, dissemination of the oligarchy, I believe there are going to be a leader that will bring people, and all the findings of these commissions will be practicalized, will be put to practice.
Thank you, Mr. Awamiko. I sincerely appreciate you coming around today. Ojo Kosise is saying that he loves you and that we're blessed and that I should kind of bring you again to the studio, that they love the historical program. Yes, every Friday we try to go back in time. We try to look at historical concepts to our system of governance, and we try to marinate it or marry it with the current happenings or development, right, in the polity. All right, ladies and
Sorry,
gentlemen.
I have one apology to make. For those that said I didn't talk about the Arrow War, don't worry, I have in course of time to talk about them.
It.
And the Arrow and about women
riot. All right.
That'll be a time I'll talk about that.
Thank you very much. I'll see you by the grace of God. By the grace of God, because we don't own our lives on Sunday for the political spotlight. So guys, have yourselves a wonderful evening. Bye for now.